Hey everyone, James Reeves with TFB TV. You're watching a very popular series that we have on this channel, and that is a top 5 gun series, especially top 5 guns from well-known shooters, well-known gun guys like this man to my right. 99% of you know who this is. This is Taran Butler, Grandmaster shooter, trainer to the stars. And we're birthday bros, turns out. Yeah, we found out. Same birthday and everything. So let's say that my mom's watching. Taran, she has no idea who you are. Let's get a brief bio for the audience out here.
Well, I started shooting competition back in the 90s. Started out with a Glock 45. Got a Grandmaster card in a year with a Glock 24. Went from shooting just pistol matches, winning Southwest Pistol League, other championships, to jumping into 3-gun competition. 3-gun's super fun. It's like Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare. It's just complete shredding with pistol, rifle, shotgun. Super fun. That led into some Hollywood stuff. Met with the guys at 8711. Got some, work with James Cameron, fun people, and got involved.
My cousin.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, came up here.
And the John Wick franchise really helped my career a lot, and just lots of fun people, and just training a lot of people. It's been really great.
What is a Grandmaster shooter? What do you have to do to be a Grandmaster?
Well, in USPSA, there's different divisions. Unclassified, you just show up. D class is like you're not the greatest shooter ever. C class is pretty good. B is good. A is really good. Master is super good. Grandmaster is the best. So I was very lucky to start in Grandmaster class. And I'm a 7-time Grandmaster in different divisions, from single stack to carry optics to PCC to all kinds of fun divisions.
So Taran knows his stuff, needless to say. I really wanted to pick his brain, and this is a video I've been wanting to make for years, actually, on your top 5 guns. Like your 5 personal favorite guns. Just go ahead, lead us into it. What do you have for number 5?
Well, my favorite gun for number 5 that I love is right here. First gun I ever owned. This is the actual gun. This is my little Colt Python 4-inch. My brother got me into guns back with little kids in the 70s. So this is it, 357 Magnum. It was in Magnum Force. The cops had it, Hutch, and all those cool guys, David Soul, everybody. So there it is.
And what made you want to get a Colt Python? Was it a movie? Was it you thought it was cool?
It's the vent rib look, and my brother and I everybody's into Star Wars. We were into Dirty Harry. So not that I didn't like Star Wars, it was super cool. But I was just like, we were Dirty Harry guys.
And was it this exact one?
That's the gun.
Because this is in fantastic shape.
Yeah, I don't beat it up too much. That's the same gun.
Do you still shoot it?
I haven't shot it probably in about a year or two. So just because the ammo, all my really nice ammo burned up in the fire. So all my 44 mag, 357 Magnum, all the 30 years of ammo burned in the fire, and 2 40-foot containers gone. So
yeah, you guys know it was the goddamn apocalypse out here. That was crazy. I mean, you lost how much ammo in the fire?
Oh, a 40-footer with tons of Black Hills, Fiocchi, Federal, everything, all 308.
Literally up in smoke.
It's all right there in that 40-footer burned to pieces. So.
Yeah, I was like, why does
and a million P-Mags, Glock mags, it just everything. It's and now that you can't get it, and I stupidly
it's even worse.
Yeah. Now I can't get it anymore, so it's just like, so I'm just scrounging what I got left. So.
What do you think you paid for this back in the day when you got it?
My brother and I, he was like leading the way. I'd say probably $500 or so. Yeah.
And what do you think it's worth now?
Probably like $1,500 or something like that.
Right.
People like the 6-inch because Hutch from Starsky and Hutch had the 6-inch. He started with the 4-inch, then he went to the 6-inch because it looks cooler on screen. I love the 6-inch, but that's a little more realistic, the 4-inch. Number 4, I would say, let's say the Glock 17. This is the one you see when I do videos where I do the crazy draws, the plate racks under whatever 2 seconds. This gun is beat to crap, but it's got a great trigger on it. I just, every day on the range do a class, I just do just beat that gun to pieces, it just keeps going and going and going.
Sure, so Glock 17, in your experience, would you say this is possibly the most reliable handgun?
Yeah, it's that gun, I can't even count the rounds that gun's got on it. Because ion bonded, it never looks old, except for the grip looks dirty. It just keeps going and going and going and going.
And this is a TTI, this is a Combat Master.
Yeah, it used to be a regular Glock that I finally just gave it a facelift when it really got beat to crap and everybody and the brother shot it, so give it a facelift. But it's a fast gun out of the holster. The 34 is a great gun too, but this to me is faster out of the holster, and when shooting side by side, I could barely notice the difference. A little bit snappier, but I don't mind.
That's really interesting. So you would say then, like if somebody was thinking about picking up a 17 or a 34 or something like that, maybe you could perform just as well with this.
Yeah, I mean,
thereabout.
I push, if they're going to go competition-ish, more or less, I go 34. A little bit softer, longer sight radius. But in real life, side by side, I could really tell the difference. And I can spot differences, pretty crazy details.
A little bit like the Python. Is this particular one special to you in some way? Is this
Yeah, it's just the one I do everything with. I did the plate rack in like 166 with the director of John Wick watching. And
1.66.
fun stuff like that. Just a lot of fun videos. Some of my best crazy hip shooting with that gun.
What is a Combat Master Glock 17? Is what I'm trying to ask.
Oh, it's all the package you do to it. Our trigger jobs are second to none. The guy's been doing my triggers, been doing them since 1994. When I became a gun company, I hired him, and he's just the best in the world. He's taught JR and other gunsmiths to do the same thing. So the trigger is huge. Like you can have a great looking gun, the trigger sucks. It's like a Ferrari with a 4-cylinder engine. You're gonna suck, right? The triggers are like glass. They hold up. They're awesome. We do really great grip jobs here. This is our Grandmaster grip. It's like a 2-part epoxy. I like it a little more aggressive. We do stipple jobs too. Contour them smaller, feel better, undercut in the front.
You got the little speed ledge right there, right?
We did this whole look prepping for John Wick 2, so we did this super cool looking slide cuts on it that people really like. It's a high polished version. Ion bond the barrel, or put an after-grade match grade barrel in it. We got our metal trigger on here, got a little carry magwell on here, faster reloads. Just lots of little details to the gun to make it nicer. So scallop right here, easier mag release. Also for a carry gun, you don't want an extended mag release button, unless you put a magwell on it, but if you don't, you lay it down, you pick it up, the mag falls out because you pop the button. So just a great little gun, not too expensive, just kind of does it all.
With me. What do you think of the stock Glock trigger? Like, what's your
Well, the reality is it's not 5.5 pounds. You get a trigger pull gauge, it's 7.5 pounds, whatever that is. It's not the real weight. We drop ours down to about 3 pounds. So the stock trigger's heavy. I mean, it's a gun for self-defense, whatever. It's fine, you don't actually shoot somebody or whatever. But we know for competition, we lighten them up. Or for our carry models or our ready-to-go packages, we drop a connector in. It's not going to be like this, but it's going to be a lot less than that trigger.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's just worthless. So.
Yeah, sure. Safe to say, though, outside of the competition world, it's an okay trigger?
Yeah, it's good. Even the factory Glock trigger.
Yeah.
It's okay. I like the 34 because it has their 3.5 connector.
Yeah, right.
And we have a ton of those. They make the gun a little nicer. So
let's move on to number 3 then.
Okay, let's see here. When I got into shooting, my brother was a big connoisseur of famous shooters and stuff like that. So we followed like Skeeter Skelton and Elmer Keith. I have 3 of these. These are 44 Magnum 4-inch. I love the 4-inch because it was in 48 hours and GANs and, and drop the gun, and all that stuff. And nice gun, It's a great little gun. Elmer Keith was a legend. He like invented the 44 Magnum. I have 3 of these. I got 2 consecutive serial numbers and one I kind of shoot now and then. They're just gorgeous. It says all his sayings on the cylinder. If you cock it, you can play with it a little bit.
Oh, I don't even want to with this.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
You're making me nervous.
I got 3 of them. So
it's got 3 of them. Okay.
I have a lot of these. I have another one that's just black.
I mean, how much does one of these cost? Come on.
This I have no idea. They were collector's items.
Right, sure. So I dropped this. Yeah, I'm going to feel terrible.
They're all engraved, gold inlaid. So
I'm sweating now.
These are the 2 consecutive serial numbered ones, and I have one that isn't consecutive that I shoot. I have another black boring one from the 70s, but I think it's a great gun. It's so damn powerful. You don't got to double tap anybody or dump a mag in to get their attention like nowadays shooting, I think one from this is like, your situation is probably most likely handled.
Yeah, sure.
So I have one in the house for self-defense.
Okay.
With 180 grain.
So Taran Butler protects himself with a 44 Magnum.
I have a lot of guns, but it's one of them.
It's interesting, I wouldn't have guessed, and not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
I don't think I could hit the broadside of a barn with a 44, but then again, we're talking about Grandmaster.
They're crazy accurate. They're like when you cock these guns, the trigger pull is glass on the originals. The newer ones, not so much. I think they put more time into the old ones, or hopefully if the custom shop does them like that, you get a really nice clean trigger pull. They're just like glass. So a lot of my gun stuff is related to films. A little kid watching,
Obviously,
The Big Valley, John Wayne, Clint Eastwood. They're your heroes and all that stuff. So I got another consecutive serial numbers here. These are Bat Masterson Colt Single Action Armies, 4 3/4. They got trigger jobs done on them by
this is crazy.
By I think Bob Munden, who was one of my idols growing up. Bob Munden is just insane. His draw and everything is just people are like, oh, he's so arrogant. You know what? He was funny arrogant. He had a right to be arrogant. Nobody could do what he could do. So there they are. I love the Colt Single Action Army. I like the 4.5 inch, and I like the 7.5, but I prefer this. Is the fastest out of the holster, And I've kind of like, I don't know why I become like the from the hip kind of guys. So like these are the kind of guns from the hip. And fanning isn't as bad as they say. You can actually hit fanning, but slip shooting is a little more accurate. So there's great guns.
Explain that to the audience. What's the difference between fanning and slip shooting?
So you watch your typical westerns, and it's the old, fan. So they're standing there, they'll draw, and they go boom, 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 shoot like a million rounds out of the gun.
I would think that would just go everywhere.
Yeah, it will unless you really train it. Slip shooting is what all the cowboy champions do. Slip shooting, it looks dorky. You're like this, and you hold the trigger down and just fan the hammer, but it's way more accurate. You're aiming, and those guys can do it crazy fast, right? As far as fanning, it looks way cool. This is like bam, bam.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like in the Searchers, he shoots the Indian scar, boom, a big old fireball, super cool. So fanning looks cooler, but it's not nearly as accurate. There's the border shift. They do like in Tombstone. Most famous Western, like of semi-modern times, you know. So in that one scene where he kills the sheriff, there's two ways they do it, because in real life, Curly Bill did kill the sheriff. So there's the border shift. So you drop it down, flip it, boom, shoot like that. It's slower. Like, here, take my gun, boom, like that. But this one's the faster one. He has the guns like this, take my gun, boom, like that. That's the faster one. So it's pretty cool. You can just like, I'm drunk, here, take my gun, boom, and shoot him in the gut. So if you want to watch some really bad gun handling, the worst ever with one of these guns, it's probably, what's that Costner movie, The Open Range, the final shootout.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it now.
Okay, no, I like Costner. He's done a lot of good movies, but whoever was the armorer, like trying to help these actors, give me a break. Like the first shootout was cool. The first part, walks up to the guy, yeah, I killed your friend. Yeah. He walks up, boom, right in the forehead, kills the guy. Right. Then he starts shooting. He's firing 1,000 rounds, fanning, shooting. Then he's going to load the gun. He's just sitting there like cut, it's loaded again, then it's unloaded again. Even the editor can...
Just like junior prom. Yeah, just fumbling around, no idea what you're doing.
The editor can wreck you. It seemed like they probably went to, like, they're making this movie, epic, span of time, and then they're like, God, this movie, we have nothing so far. We're almost done. There's no action. There's nothing but hanging out in the freaking hills talking and mystifying about boredom. Like, well, let's bump up the shootout. So like he kills the first batch of guys. Then these guys are running out of the hills. They shred all these guys like First Blood Part 2.
Tell me in 2 sentences why you love these guns.
These are the most iconic. These and like the 1911 single stack. I mean, these are as iconic as it gets. Even to this day, someone knows how to handle this gun is going to beat your ass no matter how high a capacity pistol you have, because those cowboy guys can shoot these things unbelievable. Or someone that just takes time with this gun is better than a guy that just is a goofball with a high capacity pistol, in my opinion.
Would you ever get rid of these?
Never. I got a lot of these things. I got different versions, 7 inches, and all kinds of fun stuff.
Let's move on to number 1. Let's hear that. That was fun. That was a fun little diversion, but we're going to do something different here this time, right?
Go back to like 2004. So this was my Infinity I shot for years. I do my stuff to the Infinity. I get the gun, then I do my beaver tail, the trigger, all my stiff stuff to it. But Infinities are wonderful guns. They're beautiful guns. This was the first ever gun that I said, take this look, put these holes in the side, put these cuts on the top, the 3-sided top, and put this look onto a Glock. And that was kind of the beginning of it. But this is the gun I won the 3-gun nationals with, won a ton of stuff with. This was a 40 caliber for years. Once the barrel got shot out, I threw in a 9mm barrel, because on the range you don't want to be burning 40 up. I did that for years, just not cost effective, too much lead coming back, splashing your face. So that gun there is the one I did the 185 plate rack with for Shooting USA.
Taran Butler is once again attempting the impossible.
I won everything with it. It's beat up, it's loose, it's trash, but it still shoots like a maniac. I can still shred everything with it.
And I bet there's a lot of sentimental attachment too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the great grandfather of the Combat Master, more or less, right?
Yeah. It's the gun I won my first 3-gun nationals with in 2003 in Barrie, Illinois, and I won a ton of stuff with it. It's kind of retired to the range here to just be the range shredder gun for now and then. There's been a replacement since then.
This one's been put to pasture. It's just
sometimes the trigger on it is golden. It's electrifying. So, but this one also is very similar trigger job. It's about 1.5 pounds. This is the 2011 that came in to train for John Wick 3. I got 2 consecutive serial number. They're sight trackers, but the gun in the movie is not a sight tracker. So we only had a handful of sight trackers ever made, and I just shoot the crap out of it. The slide to frame fit is tight as hell.
And for the audience, a sight tracker, meaning that this one, the front sight moves, and then on that version, the sight.
Sight tracker, they call it Island Barrel also from Staccato. 5.4 was designed for the IPSC matches in Europe and all that. There's a certain box you got to fit the gun in. So the 5-inch was actually short for the box. They want every inch of length they could get to win my match. They extended it out to 5.4 inches. So I've tried 6-inch 2011s. They suck. It's like a big monolithic giant. It's like you're riding a giant like Moby Dick. You know, bong bong. This is just long enough where it still shoots fast. The sights stay out, you know, there. You're not seeing all this slide and riding everywhere.
Are you trying to say 5.4 is a sweet spot?
It is. I mean, I still run mostly the 5-inch. You're splitting hairs here. They're both awesome. Sure. I don't go any longer than that or any shorter. For competition, you can't beat these two lengths. So this is one of my favorite guns. It was just going to be a range gun to train everybody with, but now it's like the gun I go to for all my videos. And just the trigger, the gun is still accurate as hell. It's just an awesome little gun. It holds 24 rounds. It's just awesome.
Taran, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this with us today. I've got to close it out with a tough question. That is, you can only have one of these guns, ever. You got to get rid of
one.
There can be only one.
Yes.
Highlander?
Yes, oh, of course. Which one is it and why?
If I only had to have one gun, it'd be that one, because it's the newest and still the most accurate. It'd be between, I still like the 2011 better than Glocks. I mean, it's a great gun. That's like your Corvette, this is your Lamborghini, Ferrari, you know.
So I love that. So even the stuff you got sentimental attachment to, the collector's items, out of all that, you'd rather have something practical.
If I had all my guns cleared out of my life and only one
oh
gun
yeah,
downtown
that's
with,
it.
Oh, it'd be that.
Okay. There we go, guys.
No, maybe, well, I don't know.
All right, that's it. It's time for us to go.
I know.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into TFB TV. Thank you to Taran Butler. We're going to go nerd out. We're going to go talk about movies. We're going to have a couple beers. We're going to shoot some guns. Taran, thanks again for having us. Guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned.